What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. In our first news, Jorge Masvidal shared a wild story on his podcast about how he was actually on his way to beat up Danis at UFC 322, only to discover that Chanko, also known as John Pork, had already handled the situation before he even arrived. Masvidal explained that he had been receiving messages from Danis for a while, and after enough back and forth, he decided that if Danis kept talking, they were eventually going to have to meet face to face. According to Masvidal, he was literally walking from the VIP area toward his seat when the whole situation unfolded. As Masvidal made his way through the hallway, he ran directly into Chanko. He greeted him casually, but immediately noticed something was off. Police were swarming everywhere, trying to piece together what had just happened. Masvidal asked Chanko what was going on, and Chanko calmly responded, "No, just chilling, bro. All good." But Masvidal spotted blood all over Chanko's hands and knew there was more to the story. When he pressed him on it, Chanko kept insisting everything was fine, saying it was just a little problem that he took care of. Masvidal snapped a picture with him and kept walking, still unsure of what had gone down. As he approached the arena seating area, UFC staff suddenly rushed toward him, telling him not to move and demanding to know what he had done. They grabbed him and held him in place, assuming he was involved in the backstage altercation. Masvidal said he tried to explain that he literally had just arrived and had nothing to do with whatever happened. Thankfully, the UFC assigns him 2 security guards at every event, what he jokingly called glorified babysitters, to make sure he doesn't get into trouble or cause trouble. Those security guards vouched for him immediately, confirming that he had been with them the entire time and wasn't part of the incident. Masvidal said he actually wished he had been the one involved, because by the time he finally got to his seat, all the chaos was already over. Danis had been completely handled. According to Masvidal's retelling, Danis was beaten up, kicked in the face, forced onto the floor, humiliated, and then thrown out and banned from the event. Masvidal joked that all the good fun had already been taken away before he even had the chance to get involved. In the end, he summed it up bluntly, saying it was tough luck for Danis, who had been talking for far too long and finally paid the price for it. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Coach John Kavanagh has given some revealing insight into JDM's mindset after his loss to Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. While speaking with Ariel Helwani, Kavanagh explained that he spent time with JDM the night before, and the conversation highlighted just how surprised JDM was by Islam's power. Kavanagh noted that the jump from lightweight to welterweight is no small thing. He pointed out that while moving from 145 to 155 is a 10-pound difference, the leap from 155 to 170 is 15 solid pounds, and at that level, every pound counts. Despite being a naturally strong and big athlete himself, JDM admitted that he was genuinely shocked by the physical strength Islam brought into the cage. Kavanagh described JDM as a big unit, someone who has always carried size and strength comfortably. Yet even with those natural advantages, Islam's ability to control and generate power took him by surprise. Hearing that directly from JDM, according to Kavanagh, really emphasized how rare that level of strength is, especially when moving up to fight someone who has dominated in his own division. The coach added that the performance Islam delivered against a fighter as skilled as JDM while going up a weight class was nothing short of remarkable. As for how JDM is handling the loss, Kavanagh said there's only so much anyone can say to make the situation feel better. Losses at that level are heavy, and athletes carry them differently. He explained that JDM was clearly bummed and feeling the sting of defeat. Even last night when they were out together, the disappointment was still visible. JDM seemed deflated, and it was clear the fight had taken a toll on him emotionally as well as physically. However, JDM wasn't alone. His wife and kids were with him, offering the kind of grounding and support only family can provide. Kavanagh said he has no doubt that JDM will pick himself back up. This is part of a fighter's journey, and even in the toughest moments, the right support system can make the path forward clearer. With time to reset, refocus, and rebuild, he'll be ready to go again. Moving on to another news, Tim Welch and Sean O'Malley took some time during their UFC 322 recap to break down the chaotic moment involving Khabib's team and Danis. As many fans already know, Danis was beaten up backstage after years of throwing verbal jabs at Khabib and his crew. Welch and O'Malley dove into the footage, offering a lighthearted but detailed breakdown of what happened. They joked that the situation played out almost like an unexpected bonus fight on the card. They described how, later that night, what they called another another TKO unfolded when John Pork stepped in and took out Danis in the first round. According to their breakdown, Danis was strangely bent over in an awkward position, completely unaware of what was coming. Welch explained that John Pork approached from behind and started juicing him, hitting him repeatedly before dropping Danis to the floor. They joked that Danis began air kicking, throwing phantom wheel kicks while lying on the ground, his red Nike shoes flicking through the air as he tried to recover. Welch said you can clearly see it in the video, making the whole scene even more bizarre. Danis was knocked out and security quickly rushed in to remove him from the area. After that, Welch joked that if anyone ever visits New York, they should check in with John Pork. But if you're Dillon Danis, there's a little demonstration you can practice at home. O'Malley chimed in as Welch explained the mock technique. He said you don't want to do this to someone you actually like, but if it's Danis, it's acceptable in their comedic context. You walk up behind him and hit him right on the back of the ear hole as Welch put it, then follow up with an uppercut while he still can't see you. Their bit continued with the claim that Danis would immediately pull guard after getting punched, something he's notorious for doing when things get chaotic. Welch and O'Malley described how he would start wheel kicking again, attempting triangles and omoplatas from the ground with no actual setup, just wild motions. They explained that all you need to do at that point is keep your distance, avoid getting caught in any of those wild kicks, and you'll secure a TKO win, just like John Pork did in their humorous retelling. Moving on to another news, Bisping and Paul Felder broke down what they saw in the Islam Makhachev vs JDM fight at UFC Z 322, and Bisping believes JDM was mentally broken long before the final horn. On the latest episode of his Believe You Me podcast, Bisping explained that he initially thought JDM had a real chance, especially after seeing how he handled the Bilal Muhammad fight, but once the cage door closed, everything changed. Islam shut him down completely, dominating from start to finish. Bisping described the performance as one-way traffic, the kind of fight where one man controls every second. He said JDM simply wasn't in the fight, no matter how hard he tried to get going. Bisping admitted he genuinely felt bad for JDM. He pointed out that even between rounds, the frustration from the corner was obvious. They were telling him, "What are you doing? Stop playing half guard. You've got to go at him," practically pleading with him to make adjustments. But JDM looked mentally overwhelmed. According to Bisping, there was a visible emotional weight on JDM's face, the kind fighters rarely show unless everything they're trying is failing. Felder agreed, saying he wasn't trying to insult JDM by pointing it out, but sometimes a fighter hits a point where nothing works, and that realization breaks you down inside. Both men talked about how JDM is tough, strong-willed, and has too much heart to quit on himself, but heart alone wasn't enough here. After round 1, and especially after round 2, they believe JDM started thinking about what the next 25 minutes would look like. He probably saw a long, punishing stretch ahead of him, where he would be doing everything possible just to avoid getting choked unconscious. And on top of that, when he was finally on his feet, the calf kicks from Islam had already done real damage. His leg was hurting, his confidence was slipping, and the momentum was gone. By that point, Felder said JDM looked fully distraught, not because he lacked toughness, but because he realized he was trapped in a fight where nothing he did could shift the momentum. It was the kind of mental pressure that can break even elite fighters, and Islam applied it flawlessly. Moving on to another news, Coach John Kavanagh has shared a fresh update on Conor and the momentum building around his long-awaited return. Kavanagh explained that Conor is fully back in the gym, showing up early most mornings and committing himself to a structured return plan aimed at the UFC White House event. According to Kavanagh, Conor has asked him to map out a complete program from now until June, outlining how their training will steadily ramp up. He said Conor is genuinely enjoying being back in the grind, having fun with the process while still maintaining that competitive fire that made him a superstar. Kavanagh mentioned that after the show on Saturday night, Conor sent him several messages, all fired up and wanting to fight everybody, but more specifically, Conor made it clear that he wants to be on that White House card. From the coaching side, Kavanagh said they are 100% in and already moving forward. However, he clarified that how everything works from a management and UFC standpoint is something he doesn't get involved in. His responsibility is the training, and in that area, Conor has already tasked him with a assembling a team of the right training partners. Some of the sessions will take place in the gym, while others will happen at Conor's home, creating a balanced and focused training environment. Kavanaugh explained that as of now, they are fully locked in and preparing for a walk to the octagon in 6 or 7 months. For him, if the decision were solely up to Conor, the return would already be a done deal. He emphasized that the motivation is absolutely there. Conor is showing the consistency, energy, and excitement that the team has been hoping to see. Kavanaugh also reflected on how close they were the last time, when everything seemed aligned before things fell apart unexpectedly. That memory adds even more drive to make this return happen the right way. From what Kavanaugh sees daily, Conor is focused, motivated, and ready to push through every step needed to make the comeback a reality, leaving no doubt that he is taking this chapter seriously. Moving on to another news, Johnson shared his thoughts on why JDM kept making unusual faces throughout his fight at UFC 322, and he believes there might be more to it than just exhaustion or frustration. During his detailed breakdown on YouTube, Mighty Mouse explained that it's normal for fighters to grimace during certain exchanges, especially when they're absorbing heavy shots or trying to work their way out of bad position. But in this case, JDM was doing it constantly, from the opening round all the way through the final moments of the fight. That stood out to Johnson, who said it suggested something deeper was going on, possibly an injury that JDM tried to push through. As he broke down the sequences, Johnson pointed out that Islam was landing clean and repeatedly. He explained that once you get taken down in that kind of situation, the first thing you have to do is accept the position instead of fighting panic with panic. He described how JDM should have butt scooted, gone to his back, and focused on getting both hands on Islam's face to create distance. From there, he could have started building a frame, giving himself a chance to stand back up, but every time JDM tried to adjust or react, that same grimace appeared, and Johnson said it wasn't typical. It didn't look like a reaction to a single strike or a sudden moment of pain. It looked constant, almost automatic. Johnson emphasized that in his experience, when a fighter is making that face over and over, something isn't right physically. He said he felt JDM wasn't at 100% in this fight, even though he was trying his best to push forward. He clarified that he could be wrong, but his gut feeling told him there was something off. The fight wasn't unfolding in a way that suggested only skill differences or pressure were breaking JDM down. Instead, Johnson thought the constant grimacing hinted at a physical issue JDM had been dealing with before or during the fight. He explained that fighters know how to mask pain, but there are certain expressions you simply can't hide when something is wrong internally. Seeing JDM make that face all throughout the fight raised red flags for him. According to Johnson, the whole thing felt like a fighter trying to power through an injury while facing one of the most dominant champions in the sport, which only made the situation harder for JDM. Moving on to another news, the conversation around Jake Paul stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua has taken a sharp turn after Dana White weighed in, and he didn't hold back. The announcement that Jake is now officially set to box Anthony Joshua sent shockwaves through both the boxing and MMA communities. Originally, Jake Paul was supposed to face Gervonta Davis, but that matchup fell apart after Davis ran into legal complications. With that fight scrapped, Jake suddenly found himself lined up against one of the most dangerous heavyweight punchers of this era. This new matchup is not an exhibition or a lightly sanctioned event. It's a fully approved professional heavyweight bout scheduled for 8 3-minute rounds. Both fighters will be wearing 10-ounce gloves, which means there will be no extra padding to protect anyone from the power being thrown. On top of that, Anthony Joshua has a required weigh-in limit of 245 pounds, ensuring he comes in sharp, fast, and ready to deliver real heavyweight damage. When Dana White was asked to give his thoughts on the fight, he immediately reacted with disbelief. Someone asked him if he'd seen the reports about a major boxing event being lined up for December 19th in Miami, and at first, Dana didn't even know what they were referring to. He looked confused, repeated the question, and said he hadn't heard anything about a big fight in Miami on that date. But the moment he realized they were talking about Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, his reaction changed instantly. He let out a long breath, paused, and said, "Oh, Jesus." Then he followed it with, "That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea." Dana made it clear he thinks Jake is walking into something far more dangerous than anything he has dealt with before. He didn't sugarcoat it, he didn't try to play neutral, he just spelled it out. But even with that warning, Dana also acknowledged the reality of the situation. This fight is going to draw massive attention. Whether people love Jake, hate Jake, or simply want to see how a YouTuber turned boxer survives against a former world heavyweight champion, fans are absolutely going to tune in. When asked if he personally would watch it, Dana gave a quick, almost casual, "sure." He then added that everyone everyone knows exactly what people are tuning in for. This matchup isn't just about competitive boxing. It's about the anticipation, the curiosity, and frankly, the danger. And according to Dana, fans are finally going to get what they've been waiting for.